Australia is bracing for another major protest. On September 13th, the iconic Sydney Harbour Bridge will become the stage for a controversial demonstration, one that's drawing attention not just for its location, but for the ideologies behind it. This isn't just another rally. It's a symbolic act of defiance, organized by a coalition of groups who claim the government has lost its moral compass. The protest is being led by a group calling itself Australia United Against Government Corruption. But this isn't your typical political gathering. It's a convergence of movements that have long operated on the fringes of public discourse, groups that reject mainstream science, question democratic institutions, and promote alternative narratives about health, education, and governance. Among the key players is My Place Australia, a group that rose to prominence during the COVID-19 pandemic. They oppose vaccine mandates and promote what they call sovereignty, a loosely defined concept that often overlaps with the sovereign citizen movement, which rejects the legitimacy of Australian law. Alongside them is MMAMV Australia, a movement that campaigns against pharmaceutical companies and, bizarrely, advocates for access to unvaccinated breast milk. These groups are united not by a single issue, but by a shared distrust of institutions, from government and media to science and education. Their messaging is often framed as protecting children, defending freedom, or restoring truth. But beneath the surface lies a complex web of conspiracy theories and radical ideologies. The protest is being marketed as a peaceful vote of no confidence in the government. But the rhetoric surrounding it is far from peaceful. Organizers claim that trust is gone, authority has cracked, and the countdown to change has already begun. Their concerns range from the rollout of 5G technology and fears of digital surveillance, to chemtrails and opposition to what they call radical gender theory in schools. These are not isolated beliefs, they're part of a broader ecosystem of misinformation that has gained traction online and in certain communities. NSW Police have received a formal notification of the protest, known as a Form 1. This document, if approved, grants protesters limited legal protections under the Summary Offences Act. It means they can legally assemble and march, even if it disrupts traffic or public order, provided the protest remains peaceful and within agreed parameters. However, the route, duration, and specific impact on traffic remain unclear. Authorities are still consulting stakeholders, including transport officials and emergency services. There's also the possibility of a Supreme Court challenge, similar to what occurred during recent pro-Palestinian demonstrations in Sydney. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is one of the city's most critical transport arteries. Any disruption here affects thousands of commuters, emergency services, and commercial logistics. With large crowds expected and tensions running high, public safety is a growing concern. Police are preparing for contingencies, including rerouting traffic and deploying crowd control units. But the unpredictability of the protest, especially given the mix of ideologies involved, makes planning difficult. This isn't just a Sydney event. Similar rallies are being planned in other major cities, including Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth. The movement is gaining momentum nationwide, fueled by online forums, encrypted messaging apps, and alternative media channels. Organizers are calling for a national awakening, a coordinated effort to challenge what they see as systemic corruption, media manipulation, and the erosion of civil liberties. Their messaging often invokes historical references, spiritual language, and calls to reclaim Australia. This protest follows a series of demonstrations that have taken place over the past few years. From anti-lockdown marches during the pandemic to recent rallies against immigration and digital ID systems, Australia has seen a rise in public dissent, often driven by misinformation and amplified by social media. While some participants genuinely seek reform and transparency, others are drawn in by more extreme narratives. The blending of legitimate grievances with conspiracy theories creates a volatile mix, one that's difficult to address through traditional political dialogue. Organizers claim they are standing up for the voiceless. They argue that mainstream media has failed to report the truth, that politicians are beholden to corporate interests, and that the education system is indoctrinating children. But critics argue that these movements often blur the line between activism and extremism. By promoting unfounded claims and rejecting scientific consensus, they risk undermining public trust and fueling division. Australia's democratic institutions are built on dialogue, transparency, and accountability. Protests are a vital part of that system. But when dissent is driven by misinformation, it challenges the very foundations of civic engagement. The September 13th protest raises important questions. How do we balance free speech with public safety? How do we distinguish between legitimate activism and radicalization? And what role should media, education, and government play in addressing these concerns? As September 13th approaches, the nation watches with cautious anticipation. Is this a legitimate expression of public dissent, or a dangerous blend of misinformation and radical ideology? The answer may depend not just on what happens on the bridge, but on how we respond to the voices behind it. If you want to stay updated on Australia's political landscape, migration news, and social movements, subscribe and turn on notifications. This is your faceless lens into the truth behind the headlines.